If you were born between the years of 1955 and 1995, or if you have found yourself recently waking up at exactly 3:33 in the morning with a heart that feels like it is vibrating inside a ribcage that suddenly feels too small, you need to stop what you are doing and listen to this immediately. This is not an algorithm accident. This is a summons. We are going to talk about the symptoms you have been hiding from your family. We are going to talk about the sensations you have been hiding from your doctor because you are afraid they will tell you it is all in your head. You have been silently battling a sudden, crushing fatigue that hits you in the middle of the day. This is not a normal tiredness. This is a heaviness that feels like gravity has doubled just for you. It is an exhaustion that sleep does not fix. You wake up after 8 hours, feeling as if you have been working construction in your dreams. You have been hearing a high-pitched ringing in your ears. It is not tinnitus. It comes on suddenly. It shifts in pitch. It feels like someone is tuning a radio frequency inside your skull. You have been feeling waves of intense electric heat rising up your spine. It starts at the base of your tailbone and shoots up to the back of your neck. It leaves you sweating in a cold room. It leaves you feeling like your nervous system is raw and exposed. You have looked at these symptoms and you have labeled them as a crisis. You have called this the risk zone. You have told yourself that your body is failing. You have told yourself that you are aging too fast. You have told yourself that something is wrong. But what if I told you that Edgar Cayce, the father of holistic medicine and the greatest psychic of the 20th century, predicted this exact moment in your biology 80 years ago? He did not call it a sickness. He did not call it a breakdown. He called it the chrysalis phase. You are not sick, you are molting. Edgar Cayce looked into the river of time, into the Akashic records, and he saw a generation that would serve as the bridge between the old world and the new. He called this the bridge generation, and if you are feeling these things, you are the bridge. Let us look at the biology of a caterpillar. When a caterpillar builds its cocoon, it does not simply grow wings. That is a fairy tale. The reality is much more violent and much more profound. The caterpillar completely dissolves. It turns into a soup of genetic material. Its immune system actually attacks the new cells because it does not recognize them yet. It is a biological war between the old self and the new self. That is exactly what is happening in your body right now. You are not dying. You are liquefying the density of a three-dimensional existence to make room for a higher frequency. Let us decode the ringing in your ears through the lens of Cayce. Cayce spoke often of the vibration of the body. He said that as the earth shifts its vibration, the human body must adjust its receiver. That high-pitched tone you hear is not damage, it is calibration. You are literally hearing the frequency of the shift. Your auditory nerves are attempting to process data that is moving faster than the speed of light. When the ringing happens, do not shake your head. Do not panic. Stop. Breathe. Acknowledge that your internal antenna is being tuned to a station that broadcasts truth. Let us decode the fatigue. Why are you so tired? Because your body is doing the work of a nuclear reactor while you are sitting at your desk. You are transmuting lead into gold on a cellular level. Cayce predicted that the human body would shift from a carbon-based structure to a crystalline-based structure. This process requires an immense amount of metabolic energy. The fatigue is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that all your energy is being diverted to the construction site of your new light body. It is a forced shutdown. Your higher self is pulling the plug on your physical activity because it needs you still, so it can rewire your nervous system without you short-circuiting. And the heat in the spine. This is perhaps the most misunderstood symptom of all. Medical science calls it a hot flash or a nervous response. The ancients called it kundalini. Edgar Cayce called it the raising of the life force. That heat is literal energy moving through blocked channels in your etheric body. It is burning away the trauma of your past. It is burning away the fears of your ancestors that are stored in your DNA. You are feeling the friction of high-voltage energy moving through a low-voltage wire. Your body is the wire. The energy is the new consciousness. You are being upgraded from 110 volts to 220 volts. Of course it feels hot. Of course it feels uncomfortable. You are being rewired while the power is still on. This is the biological prophecy. You were chosen for this. This is why you have always felt different. This is why you have always felt like the black sheep. This is why you have always felt like you were watching the world from behind a glass wall, because you were designed to change it. But you cannot change the world until you change your instrument. So the next time the fatigue hits you, do not fight it. Do not judge it. Lay down and say to your body, I authorize this upgrade. The next time the ringing starts, listen to it. Tune into it. Ask it what message it is trying to deliver. The next time the heat rises, visualize it burning away the doubts that have kept you small. You are not in the risk zone. You are in the transformation zone. You are the butterfly that is terrified because it can no longer feel the ground, not realizing that it was built for the sky. Edgar Cayce saw you. He saw the struggle, but he also saw the victory. He saw a human being who could walk with 1 foot in the physical world and 1 foot in the spiritual world. That human being is you, but only if you stop fighting the process, only if you surrender to the intelligence of your own cells. This is just the first layer of the prophecy. There are 4 more specific signs that prove your DNA is currently unlocking capabilities that science cannot yet explain. We are going to go deeper into the mystery of your bloodline in a moment. But first, I need to know who is ready to accept this assignment. I need to know who is done calling themselves sick and ready to call themselves awakening. If you felt that heat in your spine as I spoke these words, if you felt that resonance in your chest, then you are part of the tribe. Leave a comment below. Write these words. I am not breaking down, I am breaking through. Write it now to anchor this frequency into your reality. I am not breaking down, I am breaking through. Now take a deep breath, because what I am about to tell you next regarding your dreams and your memory is going to challenge everything you thought you knew about your own mind. You have been told that your body is failing you. You have visited the doctors and the specialists. You have sat in cold, sterile rooms waiting for test results that come back inconclusive. They tell you it is stress. They tell you it is aging. They hand you a prescription to numb the sensation, and they send you home. But deep down in the marrow of your bones, you know that they are wrong. You know because you can feel a current running through you that defies medical explanation. We are entering the most critical phase of this transmission. We are entering the danger zone. I call it the danger zone not because you are in peril, but because this is the moment where the misunderstanding of your own biology is most dangerous to your spiritual progress. If you interpret these signs as sickness, you will trap yourself in fear. But if you interpret them through the lens of the sleeping prophet Edgar Cayce, you will unlock the map to your own evolution. We need to talk about the 5 somatic keys of ascension. These are the physical markers of the shift. Edgar Cayce spoke extensively about the glandular system as the interface between the soul and the body. He did not see the endocrine glands merely as biological pumps secreting hormones. He saw them as the 7 seals of the Book of Revelation. He saw them as the spiritual centers where the infinite energy of the Creator steps down into the finite vessel of the human form. And right now, your vessel is under construction. You are not sick. You are upgrading. Let us decode the first key, the crushing fatigue. I am talking about a tiredness that sleep does not fix. I am talking about the days where your limbs feel like they are made of lead, and your brain feels like it is swimming in thick fog. If you have felt this sudden crash of energy where you simply must lie down or you will collapse, listen to me closely. This is not depression. This is cellular integration. Your carbon-based biology is attempting to hold a silicon-based frequency. Think of your body as a computer from 1995 trying to run the most advanced operating system of 2024. The hardware heats up, the system lags, it shuts down to reboot. When you feel this exhaustion, it is because your body is doing the heavy lifting of transmuting density into light. Cayce described this as the spirit pushing against the flesh. It takes an immense amount of caloric and etheric energy to rewrite your DNA. So when the fatigue hits, do not fight it. Do not caffeine your way through it. That is the old way. Surrender to it, because that is the moment your download is installing. Now we move to the second key, the phantom frequencies. This is for those of you who hear the high-pitched ringing in the ears. The doctors call it tinnitus. They look for damage in the eardrum. They find nothing. Cayce would tell you to listen closer. That ringing is not a malfunction of the ear. It is the calibration of the inner ear to the music of the spheres. It is a literal change in frequency. You are hearing the hum of the universe as your vibration rises to meet it. Sometimes it happens in the left ear, sometimes in the right. It is a signal that you are tuning into a broadcast from the Akashic records. You are becoming clairaudient. Your auditory nerve is being rewired to hear truth amidst the noise of the world. The next time it happens, do not panic. Stop. Ask the tone what it is trying to tell you. You will be surprised by the thought that enters your mind immediately after. The third key is perhaps the most uncomfortable, the purge. This manifests as sudden dietary intolerances. Foods you have eaten your entire life suddenly make you sick. You might find that meat feels heavy and dead in your stomach. You might find that processed sugar sends you into a spiral of anxiety. You might experience skin rashes or sudden inflammation that flares up and vanishes without a trace. This is the rejection of the artificial matrix. As your frequency rises, your body can no longer tolerate low vibration fuel. Cayce emphasized the importance of an alkaline diet to support spiritual development. He knew that heavy acidic foods anchor the soul too tightly to the earth plane. Your body is violently rejecting anything that lowers your light quotient. It is forcing you to eat light, to become light. You are not developing allergies. You are developing discernment at a biological level. The fourth key is the wake-up call. If you are waking up consistently between the hours of 3 in the morning and 4 in the morning, if you jolt awake with your mind racing or your heart pounding, you are not an insomniac, you are a night worker. In the tradition of the ancient mystery schools and confirmed by the readings of Cayce, this is the time when the veil between dimensions is at its thinnest. The ambient noise of the collective consciousness is quiet. The static is gone. Your spirit team is waking you up because the connection is clear. This is the witching hour for the unawakened, but it is the golden hour for the seeker. Your pineal gland, which Cayce called the eye of the soul, is most active during these dark hours. You are being woken up to receive instructions. You are being woken up to anchor light while the rest of the world sleeps. Do not stare at the clock in frustration. Sit up. Meditate. Ask what you need to know. You will find that 10 minutes of meditation at 3 in the morning is worth 3 hours of meditation at noon. And finally, we arrive at the fifth and most profound key, the hypersensitive heart. This is the sign that is most often misdiagnosed as anxiety or emotional instability. You walk into a crowded room and you feel a wave of sadness that is not yours. You watch the news and you are physically ill from the suffering of others. You feel the emotions of people before they even speak them. You have been told you are too sensitive. You have been told you need to toughen up. You have been told to build walls. Cayce would tell you that your sensitivity is your superpower. He explained that as the pituitary gland activates, it begins to secrete a higher form of hormone that enhances empathy. The new human is not designed to be a rugged individualist. The new human is designed to be a collective feeler. Your endocrine system is evolving into a high-sensitivity antenna for the Akashic records. You are feeling the oneness of humanity not as a concept, but as a physical sensation. This intense empathy is the necessary hardware for the new Earth. We cannot hurt each other if we can feel each other. We cannot wage war if the soldier feels the pain of the enemy as his own. You are the prototype for a species that chooses peace, not because of laws, but because of biology. So when you feel overwhelmed by the emotions of the world, know this: you are functioning exactly as designed. You are the gladiator of the emotional realm. You are transmuting the pain of the collective through your own heart. It is a heavy burden. I know it is heavy, but you were built for this. You were chosen for this before you took your first breath. Look at your hands. Look at your body. It is not failing. It is becoming. It is shedding the skin of the old world to reveal the light body within. I need you to own this transformation. I need you to stop apologizing for your fatigue and your sensitivity. I need you to claim your status as a mutant of the light. If you recognize these 5 signs in your own life, if you are ready to stop fighting your body and start partnering with it, I want you to leave a comment right now. I want you to make a declaration to the universe. Write these words: my body is the temple of the new light. Write it down. My body is the temple of the new light. Feel the truth of that statement vibrating in your cells. You are physically changing. But the physical change is only the container for something much larger, something that has to do with the very fabric of time itself. Because once your body is calibrated, once the antenna is raised, you begin to receive signals from the future. You begin to remember things that have not happened yet. Take a breath. We are about to step into the mystery of the timeline, and this mystery is recorded in the very bedrock of your soul. You have spent years, perhaps decades, visiting doctors who look at your charts and tell you there is nothing wrong. They look at the blood work, they measure the chemistry, and they tell you that you are perfectly healthy. Or perhaps they tell you that it is just stress, or that it is just part of getting older. But deep down in your gut you know they are missing the point, because they are looking at the hardware while the software is being completely rewritten. Edgar Cayce called this the awakening of the spiritual centers. He spoke of the endocrine system not just as a biological function, but as the gateway to the divine. The pineal, the pituitary, the Leydig. These are not just glands. They are the landing pads for a consciousness that is too big for your old life. When you feel that sudden exhaustion that hits you in the middle of the afternoon, the kind of tired that coffee cannot touch, the kind of tired that feels like gravity has doubled, that is not laziness, that is not depression, that is a system reboot. You need to understand the scale of what is happening to you. Your body is carbon, but it is trying to hold a frequency that is crystalline. Imagine trying to run the software of a supercomputer on a calculator from 1980. The calculator would heat up, it would glitch, it would shut down. That is exactly what you are feeling. The heat in your hands, the buzzing in your ears, the vibration in your chest when you are lying perfectly still. This is the friction of evolution. And this brings us to the most important realization of your entire life. You have spent so much time trying to fix yourself. You have spent a fortune on supplements and therapies, trying to make the symptoms go away so you can go back to being normal. But listen closely. Normal is gone. Normal is never coming back. And that is the greatest news you could possibly receive, because you were not sent here to be normal. You were sent here to be a bridge. Edgar Cayce saw this time in the Akashic records. He saw a time when the earth itself would begin to shift its vibration. a time of great turmoil and great light. And he saw that for this light to anchor onto the planet, it needed conduits. It needed human vessels capable of holding the charge. That is you. Every time you feel overwhelmed by a crowded room, every time you feel the emotions of a stranger as if they were your own, you are not being overly sensitive. You are functioning exactly as you were designed to function. You are a warrior of the invisible. Think about that title. A warrior does not complain that his armor is heavy. He understands that the weight is necessary for the battle. Your sensitivity is your armor. Your ability to feel everything is your weapon. The fatigue you feel is often not your own. You are processing the density of the collective consciousness. You are like a giant air purifier for the planet. You suck in the fear and the anxiety and the anger of the world around you, and your body transmutes it. You burn it up in the fire of your own nervous system, and you release it as peace. This is the heavy lifting of the soul. This is why you are tired. You are doing the work of 1,000 men while you sit in silence in your living room. So the mandate from the Akashic records is simple, but it requires a total shift in your identity. You must stop seeing yourself as a patient with a mystery illness and start seeing yourself as a master in training. This is a metaphysical graduation. When the ringing in your ears starts, do not panic. Do not wish it away. Stop and listen. Tune into it. That is the sound of the universe knocking on your door. That is a download of information that your conscious mind cannot yet translate, but your spirit understands perfectly. When you wake up at 3:30 in the morning, do not be frustrated that you cannot sleep. Realize that the veil is thinnest at that hour. You are being woken up for a meeting with your higher self. The quiet of the night is the only time the signal is clear enough for you to receive the instructions for the next phase of your life. You are becoming a lighthouse. And a lighthouse does not run around the island looking for boats to save. A lighthouse stands firm. It stands in the storm, and it simply shines. The bulb of that lighthouse is your heart center, and the electricity that powers it is this new energy flooding your system. If you resist this energy, it becomes pain. It becomes inflammation. It becomes anxiety. But if you surrender to it, if you open the door and say yes to the upgrade, it becomes power. It becomes intuition so sharp it feels like magic. It becomes a presence so commanding that people will feel calm just by standing next to you. You are the anchors. If you were not here holding this frequency, the transition of this planet would be much more chaotic. You are the spiritual rebar in the concrete of the new earth. So I am asking you to make a choice right now, to stop fighting the metamorphosis, to stop looking for the cure for who you are, and to start mastering the energy that is flowing through you. You are not sick, you are just waking up, and the world has been waiting for you to open your eyes. I want you to solidify this contract with yourself. I want you to claim your title. If you are ready to stop fixing and start leading, if you are ready to accept the responsibility of your sensitivity, leave a comment below. Write these words: I accept my mission as a warrior of the invisible. Do it now. I accept my mission as a warrior of the invisible. Let the algorithm know that the warriors are gathering. Let the universe know you are online. Because once you accept this mission, the physical symptoms begin to change. The pain turns into pulse. The exhaustion turns into endurance. And you begin to see the world not as a place of chaos, but as a canvas for your light. But there is one final piece to this puzzle. One final sign that confirms you are not just changing, but that you have been chosen for something specific in the coming year. Something that Edgar Cayce predicted would happen when humanity reached the crossroads. And if you have this specific mark on your timeline, then everything we have discussed so far is just the preparation for what comes next.